Well, hello, my amazing Algebra 2 people. This is from Lesson 1, and I wrote up here that this is negative exponents, but it is way more than negative exponents. And you can see way here at the bottom, so you know what you're getting yourself into. I am going to do this one. This is from 1A, number 24, as an example. None of these are on your homework, but they're going to show you, hopefully, how to do your homework. But then I sneak this one in at the end. This is 1C, number 8. So, you know, you can always go towards the end of the video if you're just having a problem with this one. And I came outside, look, on this, I'm trying to grow grass and keep my dog out of it, on this lovely rainy day because my lighting was stinky poop in the house. Okay, so real quick, remember when you have the same base and you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So this one, I can't add really A and B because they're not like, so I would just have to write it like this, 3 to the A plus B. All right, so that's that. This one, we all have the same base. We're multiplying, so we're going to add our exponents. So my base stays the same. And I have an A here and a 2A here, and 1A and 2A makes 3A. Plus, I still have this little b right here. So yeah, it looks weird, but that's all you've got to do. All right, now, dividing. Think about this. If you multiply, you add your exponents. So it makes sense that if you divide, you subtract your exponents. So there's two ways to do this. You can write this as the way you see it, and then just subtract. So 2 minus 6 is negative 4, but you don't want to leave your answers with negative exponents. So I'm going to write this as 1 over 5 to the 4th, which, what is that, 625? I think so. All right, so go ahead. Remember, if this value is less than 1,000,000, just go ahead and figure it out. You could realize that that's the same thing as if I would have written this like this, 5 over 5 to the 6. Remember, a fraction bar means divide. So if you like to look at it that way, you can. So same thing here. I see this to the 0 power. Do you remember that anything, except 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. So I could just say, oh, this is y to the 3rd divided by 1, which we know that's y to the 3rd. You could also do it, hey, what's 3 minus 0? 3. So hopefully that's a pretty easy one. Okay, I'm going to have to shift here. I'm sitting on my knees on concrete and it's starting to hurt. Okay, so really quickly, negative exponents. Now, we know we're dividing, so we would subtract. But I tell you what, to me, the easiest thing to do here is I'm going to do me a new fraction bar. If it has a negative exponent, flip it to get rid of the negative exponent so you're not having to mess with that. So since this is a negative 4, I'm going to move it to the bottom, which makes it a positive 4. So let me remind you, when you flip, it wouldn't, if there was a negative out here, it wouldn't change that sign. It only changes the sign of the exponent. Same thing here in the bottom. I want to get rid of it, so I'm going to flip it to the top. So I'm going to have 2 to the 2nd. Now, I can subtract this. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Okay, when I subtract, but I don't want negative exponents, so I'm going to put him on the bottom. Which, by the way, that would be 1/4. So my final answer should be 1/4. Honestly, I do it like this. Where do I have more 2's? I would be like on the bottom. How many more? 2 more. So I kind of skip this step personally, and I go from here to here. But your final answer would be 1/4. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to do a new fraction bar. Remember that this is technically this, b to the negative 2 divided by b to the 4th. Okay, that's what that means. But I do not like this negative exponent. So since he is negative, I'm going to throw him down here. So this guy's positive, so leave him alone. He is just so happy sitting there. So if you move everything to the bottom, you still have a 1 up here. Okay, so I have b to the 2nd, because I moved him to the bottom. The b to the 4th stays put, because he's already positive. They're sitting right beside each other, so that means I'm multiplying. So you add the exponents, so you have b to the 6th. All right, so it's 1 over b to the 6th. Love it. All right, do you remember when you have an exponent raised to an exponent that you multiply? So you would have 5 to the 0, which we all know is 1. You could also do what's inside parentheses first and get 1. But what's 1 to the 3rd? Because you could think about it that way. It's still 1, so it doesn't matter. Get the same answer. Okay. Same thing here. When you get to these really yucky ones down here, I would do this the same way. And yes, I'm hurrying because I'm got to run to the dentist. That's fun. But this guy is my only negative exponent, so he's the only one I'm going to move. He's in the bottom, so I'm going to throw him to the top. Oh great, here comes my dog. So all of these are going to stay the same. My a to the third, I'm not going to move him, my b to the third, and my b to the fourth. That's my dog's lovely shadow. Okay, if they're sitting, you know, all on the top, or if they're all sitting on the bottom, like right here, that means you're multiplying. They don't have to sit beside each other. But if they're on the top, that means I'm multiplying, so I'm going to add my exponents. So I have a to the fifth. Here I have one on the top and one on the bottom, which means I'm dividing, so I'm going to be subtracting my exponents. So you can either think about it this way. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So I would b to the negative 1, but I do not want a negative exponent, so I'd have to put my b to the 1 on the bottom. Again, I like to think about it this way. Where do I have more b's? On the bottom. How many more? 1. Remember, if it's a 1, you don't have to write it. Okay, we're doing so good. First of all, I see quickly q to the 0. What is q to the 0? Yep, it's 1. So I can just kind of basically ignore him. All right, so here's my fraction bar. That has a negative exponent. He's in the top, so I'm going to throw him down here to the bottom. He's positive. I'm going to leave him alone. He's like so happy. Negative. He's on the bottom, so we're going to throw him to the top. Positive. He's on the bottom. He's happy, so leave him alone. Same here. He's got a positive exponent. So look what I've got here. I've got p's on the top. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of rewrite this just for a minute, because I notice I have these two p's on the bottom. They're both on the bottom. So basically I'm multiplying these two together. So I'm going to add their exponents. So that would give me p to the 6th. Okay, so I've got that. There's my q to the 6th. I didn't want to lose him. So look at this one. This is kind of cool. Where do I have more p's? On the bottom. How many more? 3. So I'm going to have p to the 3. And you can think about it this. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. But I wouldn't want a negative 3, so I would put him on the bottom, which would make him positive. Where do I have more q's? On the bottom. How many more? 5. So you can think, bigger numbers on the bottom. What's 6 minus 1? 5. Bigger numbers on the bottom. 6 minus 3 is 3. You can't have nothing up there. So you got a lovely 1 sitting up there, and that would be your final answer. Okay, last but definitely not least, here we go. Negative exponent, throw him downstairs. Negative exponent, down he goes. These are positive, leave him alone. Negative, okay, I don't like it. He's down here, let's throw him up. That sounded terrible. Positive exponent, he's on the bottom. He's just so happy down there, let's leave him down there. So now I have this with no negatives. Trust me, it just makes things easier when you add and subtract. So I'm just going to simplify my numerator. That's the thing on top first. Notice these x's. I'm multiplying them, so I'm going to add my exponents. So that's x to the 6th. I still have my x to the 3rd on the bottom. Y's are together, so I'm multiplying them, so it's y to the 6th. And we're almost done here. Where are there more x's? On the top. 6 minus 3 is 3. Where are there more y's? On the bottom. How many more? 4, because 6 minus 2 is 4. And that would be your final answer. And yeah, that one's written just a little yuck. So there you go. Enjoy.